live. Welcome back to ANTICS. I'm here today with my guest, Ian Dutta.
Yo.
What
up? Yo.
What up? Alright, my man. How's it going? How's your day going?
Dude, it's alright.
How was school?
Yeah, it's stressful, dog.
It's a stressful time to be alive as a senior in high school. December. This is the shit where it all goes down. People have been getting responses, bro. Like, whole-ass responses.
The extremely smart people.
You know what I heard yesterday?
Yeah.
That Paige McKendra got waitlisted at Stanford. Or
exactly. One of those people.
People have been talking about that. And, I didn't even know about it. I didn't hear about it until yesterday. And you know what? It's not that I care about it, but the fact that other people care about it is scary, man. Shit's some fucked up shit.
Dude, you gotta care about it to an extent. I've been thinking about how much college really matters lately. Like, what
have you boiled it down to?
So you're gonna spend about $100K to $300K, depending on how prestigious the college is, or if you're going to an in-state, you're spending less.
Whew.
How much? Okay, if you're gonna go to one of those top colleges, you gotta have an idea that's gonna change the world. Like, you're not gonna be following a career at that point. You're gonna be.
You believe that?
I believe that.
You believe that if you go to one of those top colleges, you have to have an idea?
You have to have something. You have to have something different about you, because otherwise you're not going to get accepted. Like, you saw how many, really smart people got rejected straight out from Stanford. I didn't even apply to Stanford because,
Well, really, though, how much of your education actually translates to the college application process? It's kind of two different animals, no?
Dude, for me, I'm a good writer, so I just did it off the top of my head and then just edited it in one day. So
how much feedback from your high school English classes have you actually received?
Zero, dude. Oh my god.
I knew that was gonna be your answer.
It occurred to me.
My answer too.
Yeah, I should do that. I should go up to Mr. King, even though I didn't have his class. He's a really good teacher. I should be asking him what am I doing wrong here? I didn't do it. I just don't know what happened. But
I am blessed because my aunt is an English teacher.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of education in my family, in my blood, you know. So I've had I ran my essays by her, and she looked at it from a point of an administrator. I'm an administrator. This is what we're doing here.
For sure, yeah.
So that was kind of the idea there. Very. So I had a little bit of guidance when it came to my actual essay writing, but for people that aren't naturally gifted writers, you know, it's just
tough.
It's like you're throwing them with the sharks. Dude. You're trying to do something that you didn't prepare for, but then I don't know, man.
Yeah, when I say that you have to have an idea that's really impactful, that goes into the essays. They're not going to accept you if you don't have that idea. You could say that you're trying to cure a disease, but you have to have some research put into it. You have to have published something that shows that you have the chops to really go in depth with the research, work with a team. You need leadership skills. You need the full package, dog. This is what colleges have, a 15-step process to accepting people. And part of that is, as shitty as it is, affirmative action. Affirmative action legally is illegal, but on a legal basis it's illegal, but it still happens.
So what is affirmative action?
Yeah, it's the process of taking, putting people in spots, colleges putting people in spots based on race. And in the 80s, I think there was a court case that outlawed it because the most prestigious colleges were filling their spots with underprivileged, underrepresented racial groups. But it still happens nowadays. If you're a Latino, part black, you're going to have an advantage as unfortunate as that is, over somebody who's Asian, white. I've seen it in scholarships. I've gotten.
That's just because of the numbers.
Yeah, it's you get more of a boost. Like they grade on a curve because as a group, these minorities they kind of score a little lower than other groups, so they kind of boost it up when they're taking the whole group.
It's like a big curve.
Yeah, it's like that. And also with scholarships, they give more scholarships to underrepresented minorities. I've gotten a few already. I'm lucky to be half of a minority group, even though it doesn't really affect my mind. Like I don't feel like I'm underprivileged.
What nationalities are you?
Brazilian and Indian. So we talked about it last time. I feel pride for my Brazilian heritage, but I don't feel like I'm dumber or less able to like I have less of an opportunity because I've grown up with that. Like I don't know how they look at it. Like they're just looking at it statistically, I guess. Like over the whole nation, these people do worse in school. But for me, I didn't really have that problem. So college apps are fucking stupid, dude.
So take us through this little process. You said they got a 15-step program. What do you know?
A lot of colleges have that. Like Stanford, they go economic status, like how much your family makes. Then they go how much your family makes compared to their like the people in their area. And then, like, people in their racial background, they go with their legacy if they've gone to that college. They go with your test scores, your essays, your achievements, and then, like, any other, like, anything else you've done in your community, like, that isn't an achievement. A lot of that shit. 15. I can't find all the 15 steps. I could look it up right now if you want, but
sure,
it's definitely a thing. Like,
where have you just looked into it? Through like which of those is the most weight carries the most like weight,
like things okay yeah I'm thinking of different things on the fly. Like if you get an award called there's this scholar thing where the top 10% of GPA and SAT and PSAT have like a distinction that goes to the colleges, and you don't know about it. Your counselor, if they like write or no, not your counselor, your counselor's gonna write pretty much the same letter every time, but if your recommendation letters from teachers are like bad, they're gonna negatively impact you, and you're never gonna know about it pretty much unless you're like working with the teacher, which happens. Yeah, go ahead. What were you saying? I hate to cut you off there. Cut your thought off, but
no, you're good. I was just thinking about just the process that goes into the college application, like with you personally with this USC thing. You know how knowing that they only accept 12%, it's just like. Are you just kind of like, is it a lot of praying? Is it a lot of like, what is it just kind of, because you've kind of done everything through it that to prepare you up to this point. So what's in your hands now?
Yeah. With USC, I like look at it like I've already done what I need to do pretty much. Like my GPA it's above their top 75%. My SAT's above their top 75%. These are like stats that they give out when they on their website. Like you meet all these stats to get in the door. Now they're just taking you. I applied on the deadline for a scholarship. Like since USC is so expensive, they have a special early deadline, which isn't like. There's a difference between early decision and like an early deadline. Early decision, they boost your chances. This was not that. This was like giving you a chance at a scholarship. So you can get a quarter tuition, half tuition, full tuition to USC. I don't know how rare it is, but yeah. Okay.
We were talking about.
Yeah, we were talking
the scholarships.
Yeah. The deadline December 1st for USC. They give you a chance at a scholarship, right? Mm-hmm. I applied for that. It's like it's cool how each college has like their own like application. So this USC application, you had to write 350. I believe it was 350 word essays. About like one was about interdisciplinary shit, like what you're gonna do outside of your major, and the other one was either your major, talking about your major, or like an experience that culturally impacted you. I chose to do the major one and like the interdisciplinary one. Interdisciplinary, I talked about how I'm gonna minor in music production at USC and how they have like really good music school, Thornton Music School. You just got to do your research and shit about that. And then my major came easily. I've been like, my passion is the stock market. on really general sense, but like I've been studying all the parts that go into it, talking to executives about like how I'm going to gain the knowledge to actually have a chance in the field because it's so competitive. All about how you're going to make it on either Wall Street, San Francisco. They have a huge market for that. Chicago has a huge market for that. Pennsylvania is a huge hub for that. But in general, you're going to be competing against a shit ton of people who know their shit. I needed to express how I've created 2 clubs on campus, been the president of both of them, carried myself to get people involved with the club, bring my friends into it who are interested in this stuff, got my interest way back in freshman year after an investment competition, and like also how I listen to like podcasts every day about this stuff, like Jim Cramer, Freakonomics pods. It's a grind, dude. You have to really like prove to these people that you're not just the conventional student that's just trying to get into a really good college, because USC is a really good college. They're not going to give a shit if you just go by the numbers talking about your achievements. Like, I don't know. I had to get my voice out there.
Have you used that philosophy into your essay writing?
Yeah, I don't really talk about like what I'm thinking about when I'm writing is like, how am I just gonna put this concisely and then prove that I'm just doing this as a route to get to like to get to the best place that fits my needs. I talked about how their facilities are they're really special, like compared to the other colleges in California. The UCs don't offer the type of like professors, the type of courses, extracurricular activities and internships that USC does. Show my passion. They're gonna see that my dad went there. They're gonna see that legacy there. I don't know how much of a boost that gives, but it's definitely a factor.
Your dad went there?
My dad went there for his master's, and yeah, it's like it's a grind. Like I only did this in 2 days, so
the entire application.
Yeah, I did the entire USC application in 2 days. I copied and pasted my UC essay into the big 650 word Common App essay, and like stretched it out a little bit to meet the word requirement.
Straight up?
Yeah, and like that's how it came really easy.
Lightweight, a good idea.
Yeah. When you're doing your Common App stuff, just copy and paste. It's okay.
So back to the question, man. How much does college matter? How much?
Dude, it's complex. Like, it depends on your major. First of all, college isn't going to matter if you're doing 8 years of psychology. You're going to want to get out. You're going to want to start a podcast, start teaching, start getting out there with your own firm. Like, whatever you have to do, there are many different options for you to, like, go into the field of your choice, whatever that may be. Not just psychology. I don't know why I brought that up. But you're going to want to do something if you're not, like, in a medical career, a law career, maybe a business career. Business, you're going to want to start your own business for sure. You're going to want to play it by ear. Like, if you're doing a 4-year college that you're majoring in a kind of a dead-end major, it's not worth it to go through and get a PhD unless you want to be a professor, or really, like, I'm not even sure what a PhD in certain majors would do for you.
Me either.
But, like, you're going to want to get your foot in the door at a good college for undergrad. And then if you're in, like, a medical career, you don't really need to care about your grades in you really need to care about your grades in undergrad. Let me get that straight. And then you want to get into a good graduate school. For me, finance, I want to go to a graduate school, but not a PhD for a 12-year education. I don't fucking like education, the thought of going to school until I'm 32. That just sounds extremely stupid to me.
That's a real life possibility.
It is. Some students, they go until they're like 40, get out, they're making $200K a year.
Well, that goes back to you never really stopped learning.
Exactly.
Your formal education might end, but you're always learning.
Facts. Dude, college is like such an unknown.
So how much does it matter?
How much does it matter? To me, it doesn't really matter that much.
But in the general sense, it does matter.
It does matter because that's the formative part of your life. We call ourselves in the formative part of our lives in like senior year of high school. That's not true. You're still gonna be mentally growing when you're in college, and you're gonna be building your lifelong relationships at that point. Like high school, I've seen people make friends, lose them within the year. You're not going to be building the connections in high school that are going to matter in your life. You are going to be getting that social experience that you're going to need to carry with yourself. But, and also education-wise, you're going to be in college. It's not going to be as loose as it is in high school. You're going to be, I keep saying you're going to be, but what's going to happen in college is completely different to high school. People aren't going to give a shit about you anymore. You're going to be in, what's going to happen is you're going to get into these lecture halls if you choose that. And the thing what's shitty about it is you're going to be controlling your own destiny pretty much. Here in high school, we can like talk to our teachers and they'll actually care. And then when you get into college, you're in a pool of 10,000 people in your major that are all just outside of class. They're going to be interested in whatever, like trying to meet you, but it's always going to be that first impression. And there's no familiarity whatsoever with people, is what I'm trying to say. It's the trip,
that
dude.
Shit hits, man. I think about that. We had a casting director actually come into my Play Pro ROP class today and talk about acting and the process that goes into auditioning to like movies, TVs, commercials and stuff. So get this, right? She painted this picture of like a Walmart commercial. She said, we're going to have a family of 5 in this commercial. There's going to be 5 parts, right? There's one part as a grandpa. So how do you think we're going to get a grandpa? How many people do you think are going to be an applicant for like a Walmart commercial grandpa?
It's a good look.
How many?
How many people are in your class?
No, in the world.
In the world?
No, just like in America. In America, I'm like,
bro, thousands.
Say I'm a casting director and I'm making a Walmart commercial. How many do you think?
Probably thousands, tens of thousands.
Yeah, bro. Like 7,000.
Yeah.
And then how many do you think are gonna like get an audition? Like those are just the people that like applied. How many people are gonna get an audition?
100 at most, probably.
So what she said was about 500. And then they do a 500 just reading this thing in a day. The audition takes like 2 minutes. And it's just you walk in, they don't even look at you. They'll just like listen to you. Because there's so much just that thought of just like literally all it is just 2 minutes that is gonna get you a job or no job, you know? That's in the mind of an actor. So these grandpas, right? There's 500. They're gonna read just the paper. Then guess how many are gonna get a call back?
I'm gonna guess like 50.
Like 3.
Like 3?
3.
What the fuck?
3 get a call back out of these 7,000.
No way. Wait, what?
Yeah.
How was she explaining that?
She was explaining the whole process that she would use as a casting director to do this.
Okay, so what are her cues to like look for?
So she was talking about she said, okay, this was what blew me away, right?
Yeah.
They know if they're going to cast you in the first 5 seconds of looking at you. By how you walk in, by how you talk.
Oh, shit,
by how you slate. Because slating is just saying your name.
What? So how do they find that? What do they look for when you're saying your name? Like, just
how you carry yourself, how you talk, how you present yourself, how you like...
No, that's
just little things.
That's hella interesting.
Right? Dude, that shit kind of blew me away. Just hearing how, like, cutthroat everything is. So when you think about, like, college, relating that back to that is just, like, we're so small. Do
they know, like, from the first sentence? No, they don't.
Yeah.
They've got way too many people to look at to be like, oh, shit, this kid's out the door.
That's the thing. They have too many people to look at.
Yeah.
So that kid is out the door. If it's not, if it doesn't pop out to you,
you're right.
It's gone.
Okay.
Shit was crazy.
Dude, you did your UC apps, right? How we both did those.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of straightforward. Like
they're very simple.
Yeah,
I like it.
You could go you could go a lot of places. Which one? What was your favorite? Like, what was your favorite piece of writing that you did? What was your favorite prompt?
My favorite.
Yeah, of the 4.
How do you express your creativity?
Okay, what did you write about with that? Because I feel like that sometimes. I don't know. how you look at time?
I just want... It's starting. It's rolling again.
Oh, shit.
I just want to have a 2020 party where I get an extravagantly 20s themed party with illegal alcohol.
That's what you wrote about? Okay.
No.
I was going to say, because we're...
Oh, yeah, we took a little... No,
I was like, what the fuck?
You were talking about 2013. How it feels like last
we
year.
could segue to that.
No, dude.
So what were you writing about in your essay?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Let's get back to that.
What I was writing about in my essay.
We could come back to that thought. That was a good train of thought.
I wrote about my podcast. I wrote about how...
For real?
I wrote about how, like, my goal, and then there's just, like, breaking barriers, and just, like, sparking discussion, and, like, create it in, like, tackling relevant issues.
Dude, your podcast is a very unique thing for high school students. When I first heard about it, I was like, okay, Cameron, I've never talked to this guy. He's in my gov class, and, like, usually high school students, when they make podcasts, they're extremely shitty. I'm like, I'm fully ready to see what this guy's about, and I'm fully ready for this to suck dick. And then I was like, oh shit, this guy's actually hella interesting.
That's fucking sick, dude.
I was
That's
like,
so
oh my
interesting
god,
for me to hear.
Yeah,
like
the way
fucking,
you
damn, man.
make people perceive you is important.
That shit's fucking crazy.
This is legit one of the best podcasts. Like, of all, I listen to not a lot, but like 10 podcasts or so on a regular basis.
That's more than I do. I listen to Dissect and Joe
Yeah.
Rogan. I
listen to a bunch of sports shit. But
which ones do you listen to? You got any name drops that are your favorites?
Okay. Have you heard Conan O'Brien's podcast?
I haven't.
Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. It's a really good look at fucking just him raw. Have you seen the show?
Yeah, where it's just like interview. I saw him play like video games. With
he plays a character on his show pretty much.
Oh, really?
And in person, he's like really
different
really
guy.
down to earth.
Really?
Yeah, on TV, he's like trying to get the crowd all hyped up.
Yeah.
Also, Never Not Funny is a very good... I listen to a lot of comedians because they know how to talk. You know, they know how to like keep a crowd engaged for hours on end. I want to hear Joe Rogan's pod. It's a grind. He's got like thousands of episodes and shit. How many is he at right now? Like,
he's at about 1,600. Or no, sorry, 1,400.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy to listen to all that shit.
Right. There's so much.
I've heard
but
it
there's
too.
so. I love him. He's my favorite podcaster by far, dude. His show is just so diverse.
Yeah.
Like I
He's
just recently, the one he posted the other day was with like Tulsi Gabbard and this like ex Navy SEAL Jocko, and then they just talk about just like stuff and things, and he just picks her brain, just like Joe Rogan talking to a goddamn politician. Dude, I loved his one with Andrew Yang. Like his one with Elon Musk is just like timeless. And like he did one like around.
He got
500.
Elon Musk to smoke weed.
Yeah, like around 500, he did. And he didn't even have to try to get Elon Musk to smoke weed. He was just like, I have weed, and he was like, you're not allowed to smoke weed, and Elon's like, it's legal. And then he's like, let's fucking
it's medical.
Joe, and I wish his heart was probably pounding so hard, bro. He was
doesn't
probably
give a
like,
shit. He's giving these. He's immune to stress at this point. He's giving too many presentations.
He's taking too much DMT to be ever stressed ever, bro.
Okay, so this ties back kind of to time. Like, imagine in 2012 when Romney and Obama were running. They wouldn't have imagined that one day Joe Rogan would be talking to every presidential candidate on his podcast.
That's so fucking true.
Imagine podcasts back then. Like, podcasts blew up very recently.
Yeah, really
so,
though, really.
I was thinking about, like, what do you consider,
They're
like,
gonna
recent?
be, like, the future. They're gonna be the future of communication, bro.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That's fucking crazy to me.
So to me, like, 2013 is, like, where everything started to become more, like, modern. What is it for you? What was that point? What's, like, the point that you remember?
2013 is where everything became modern?
Like, everything started to shift towards tech and, like, just the internet. And
well, for me personally, I'm a YouTube kid. So I would always go home and I would watch my YouTubers, you know? And I felt like
it's crazy.
Like, I had these like connections with these like people that were on the internet.
Yeah.
Like it so inspired me. It shows in like my YouTube channel. If you look at the channel I post these to, you scroll down, and on this video gang, if anybody wants to check that out, where it's just me and my friends in 5th grade, and I would just like or 4th and 5th grade, and I would watch Smosh. I would go home every Friday. I would watch Smosh, and I would do my new Smosh video because Smosh they were so funny. They inspired me so much because they were just these kids right out of high school that they didn't even go to college. I don't think him and his friend, they made this website.
Just doing sketches all day.
It was called smosh.com.
Yeah.
Just doing little sketches. Just the stupidest stuff. Just the dumbest stuff.
Yeah.
And it was so wholesome and so genuine, and that just attracted me so much. And then, like, they got a little bit of production value, and then they took their comedy to, like, new levels, and then it was just, like, hilarious. And
what are they up to now? Like, they...
And then to watch them, their fall, because they sold their company to a corporation.
They got fucked over.
They got fucked over, dude.
Yeah.
I heard about it. They lost a lot of creative control, which really sucked. They sold out, man. They sold out. It was a really sad way to see that end. And it pretty much the peak of their selloutness was Smosh the movie, which was like it was a wholesome attempt at something larger than what they had started, but
just kind of flopped.
You know, as the story goes, don't sell out.
Yeah,
that's what I love about Joe Rogan too, is how he won't.
He's like got many ways to make money.
Yeah, he doesn't compromise his creative ideas just for money.
He's like on every boxing match, right? He's a
He's
commentator.
an MMA commentator. Yeah, he's a commentator. And then
he's making like tens of millions a year.
I can't believe. Ridiculous. I don't even know how much he's making, bro. But like,
shit ton. He's making
just
bank
from YouTube alone, probably a lot too.
Yeah.
I can't believe how much influence he has, man, over these politicians. Not even over them, but just, like, over the public. Just, like, how he makes people think. I wish he had more of an influence. I wish more people saw, like... Some of his shit, though, some of his, like, ideas and some of, like, how he talks to people. Like, it's not like we're all perfect people.
Yeah.
He's a piece of dude. He's, like, we all have flaws. But just, like, through, like, talking to, like, politicians, just how he, like, changes his demeanor. Like, he'll talk to, like, some hunter dude, and he'll just be, like, making, like, dick jokes, like, the whole time.
Yeah.
But then he'll talk to, like, Tulsi Gabbard, still throw in the occasional, like, ha-ha. But, like, managed to... He asks the real questions. He asks, like, what's on everybody's
He tries
mind.
to understand his guests.
I love that. I love that so much.
Dude, for sure.
But enough about Joe Rogan. So, let's say the UC application, right?
Yeah. So,
my idea for just, like, going into it is just, like, you look at all these questions, and they're pretty personal. They're called personal insight questions. They want to get to know you, right?
Yeah.
So, my goal through these was to convey who I was through an essay form, right? I'm a pretty good essay writer. Like, I'm a pretty good writer in general. Like, I journal a lot. I journal all the time, and I practice just, like, making fluid thought that's, like, comprehensible through, like, on a page, you know? So I tried to show that in my work. And my aunt, who was correcting and trying to guiding me through this process, really showed me a lot of, like, how to be concise, how to be more concise, how to not, like, because she kind of, like, filtered through my flows of consciousness.
Okay.
So it's really interesting to actually look at, like, the history of
the edit history, yeah,
of my writing on this.
How many drafts did you have?
I had a couple. I'm not sure exactly how much, and we won't go into it, like, super deep right now.
Not much time spent, because I didn't spend much time.
But I mean, honestly, you write these in like 5 minutes,
okay.
in like 20 minutes,
for sure, yeah,
like so quick, and then you're just like, okay, it's done. My girlfriend, when she was writing her Common App essay, she still is, but when she's writing it, she's like thinking about it during it. She's like, oh my god, I have to, like, write something that is, like, that colleges will resonate with.
Dude, I feel that, yeah.
So I personally, I didn't, like, think about that until my aunt was, like, directing me and showing me what their ideas are and what they're looking for in writing. Mm-hmm. Because she's taking these, like, classes and
for sure, yeah. They're looking for, okay, this is how I thought of it. I'm thinking about, like,
what do you think they're looking for?
I think they're looking for, like, a mix between the highlights of your life and, like, who you are. So I'm mainly focused on the highlights of my life, like, actually no, mix. Like, what I've done I did one of the essays on what I've done in my, like, to make my community better. Mm-hmm. Tied it into, like, Guide Dogs for the Blind, an organization I've been working with. It's like, and I'm also a good writer. I did better on the writing portion of the SAT than, like, the math.
Of course.
Everybody did better on the math for some reason. I'm like, shit, dude. But yeah. Go ahead.
Math is easy, bro.
Math is not easy, dude.
No.
Math is my Achilles heel.
I'm not saying math is easy. I'm saying math is easy to learn. You can teach math. You can memorize math. Writing, you can't teach that shit.
Yeah.
You can teach technique and strategies and, like, mental exercises, but you can't teach good writing. You know what I'm saying? Can't teach it.
Dude, you're right. You can like. I used to.
So
read
that's
a
why.
lot.
That's why when you look at like your grade on the, like this writing crap, that's where the real smarts kick in. That's where the real smarts show.
Yeah. So when you're writing, do you try to like? Okay. Do you try to make it like? Obviously, you're trying to write about yourself and like.
In 350 words.
In 350 words,
Yeah.
kind of crazy. You're trying to write about a moment that made you like feel something, like resonated especially, because everything feels like in our lives, our memories kind of feel like a blur. Like when I was trying to think of ideas for my essays, I was like, dude, is this really like something that means a lot to me, like, or is it kind of just something I've done? Did you feel that at all? Like struggle to try to get good ideas?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot of pressure at first because you're like, what the fuck?
I feel pretty good with the prompts that I chose though. So the prompts that I chose were ones that I felt I could really convey who I am. You know.
Yeah.
Like I did my greatest talent. I just talked about. A lot of these are just like humble flexes. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like they're all just like, hey, brag about yourself, but like do it in a way where it's like. You show growth. Like what? It's so weird.
It's not something you should overthink. The UC essays were not that.
They were very straightforward.
Yeah.
They're almost interview like.
I like that. Yeah.
I like that too. I like that because I can really dig and just try to show them. 350 words is not bad. You know? It's like half a page of you just trying to like, explain to yourself, which is not. Some might think it's like not a lot, but.
Did you find yourself going over a lot? Like you kind of got on a tangent and then went over 350, and you were like 500.
Yeah, I had to cut back a good amount.
Me too.
But that was not too hard because I had my aunt telling me what was like more conscious streams of consciousness and what was more like this is an essay, you know.
Gotcha.
So that helped me a lot, and and I could kind of even reading it back, I could kind of tell what was more like what was unnecessary tangents and what was really a more accurate portrayal of myself.
Yeah, so when did you feel like you were done? And did you like go back?
Dude, I didn't feel like I was done. I was just like I had these deadlines that I would set for myself where I would meet with my aunt and I would talk about this stuff and I would edit it with her. And like even the day I turned them in, I was like, "Mom, I want to change it. I want to change this part." She was like, "No. You've done all you can. Don't overthink it."
You turned it in like a week before. I remember that.
Yeah. I texted it.
When you turned it in, I was like, I might want to start this shit because I hadn't started.
Started the UCSs.
I'd written like 2 at that point. I'd written like 2 full ones, and I was like, I don't know. I don't want to do this because it's like Thanksgiving break. I'm like, I've been studying so hard and shit. Now I'm just gonna take a break for the first 3 days of Thanksgiving break, and now I'm like. Yeah, it got kind of tight at the end with the USC. I submitted that at like 11 p.m. on the last day. So
was there anything specific to USC that they had you put in that application?
No, it was more like about you. They asked a bunch of like.
So you talked to me a lot about like
the first
your like music production and like talking to these CEOs. Did you put those in your essay?
Did not put the meetings with the executives.
Or the CFOs rather.
Yeah, it was like a CFO and like a few of his. Associates, a few of his colleagues.
Wait, hold on. How did you meet those guys? How did you get
my dad?
These?
Yeah, it was just like
connections.
My dad's good with people. He
for sure.
I'm kind of introverted. He's a kind of a people person. I'm trying to become more like him in a way. Like just fucking forget about all my inhibitions when I'm talking to people. But like he was able to get me a meeting with this guy, and that kind of opened me up to like, this isn't gonna be like. A straightforward path like people make it out to be in college. You're gonna go. This person went to Louisiana Tech. He was going to be an engineer, and it's not a very prestigious college. Like you'd expect a person who's making like $150K a year. This guy's making bank. He was originally not gonna. Everybody had given up on him, but he just stayed on his grind, met the right people at the right times, and he made his life so much better. Like in terms of financial, and that might not be what you're looking for. You might be looking for like. Something you enjoy doing or something that's like really meaningful to you. It depends, but you're never going to be set on a path in life, and also you're going to have to learn how to talk to people. That's what I learned from meeting up with these guys. Yeah, they're really down to earth people. California, Silicon Valley, it's got a ton of really driven, nice people who are professionals. And like, I didn't write about that, but it's given me a lot of perspective. What I did write about was like USC specifically, in a couple of their supplemental essays are just quick 250. I think it was 250 words.
So what does that mean? Is that different from the Common App?
The Common App is a 650 word. It could be less. I only wrote like 400 words.
And how many supplementary 250 words were there?
Yeah, there were two 250s, and I just fired off a couple paragraphs about like why USC means a lot to me. Like, my dad's alma mater, first of all. That's not very important, but he kind of opened my eyes to it. Then we visited
that
it.
means legacy, right?
Yeah, it's like where a person graduates from. That's their alma mater.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, I've been rooting for USC football for a while, but I never actually knew if it was like a good college.
Yeah.
Until I went there. And I've already
away.
This summer at first I was like, okay, this is good, but like, what is they had a specific tour of the business school, and that was when I was blown away. Like, there were people in there there were like 8 people in a classroom working on a project. I hadn't seen that at the UCs. I'd gone to like a lot of the UCs, UCSD, UC Berkeley.
Lecture halls type deals.
Those are a lot of lecture halls. This one was like focused classroom. You're working with a team, and I was really that appealed to me. That appealed to me a lot.
Really cool.
So I'd love to get in there. It's extremely expensive. I submitted at the deadline for the scholarships, of course. Hopefully that shit works out. But these essays were like, just write about what you're gonna do at USC. So I talked about my passion for music, how I feel like it's the most emotive, it's the most like expressive art form, and how I'd like to take that and like use that to clear my mind apart from my studies, like at the Thornton School of Music. And I did a little research on Thornton. They're fucking top of the nation in their quality. Their minors aren't that hard to get into, so it wouldn't be like competitive. I have no experience with this. I just like to learn this shit with people who are interested in it. Cool ass people. I want to meet people when I'm doing a minor in music production. When I'm studying, I can be all by myself, focused on trying to get a career started. But outside of that, I want to do other shit. You feel that? Like, when you're in college, you gotta live, and you gotta find ways to do it. And usually the college gives that to you, gives you those chances.
Absolutely, man. Freaking-lutely.
USC had a bunch of like one-word answers, or no, one-sentence answers as well, and there were like 3 words that describe you. Let me try to bring it up. Like, and then there were like favorite movie of all time, soundtrack to your life.
That's so interesting that those are on the college applications, man. Wow.
Like, what is one vacation you would take? And I said, spending 2 weeks. It wasn't really. This wasn't supposed to be meaningful. It was just like what you want to do. Like, who are you as a person? And I was talking about vacation. I was saying I want to spend 2 weeks. This is something I've actually had a thought about. Next year, I want to spend 2 weeks in every single Grand Slam location that the tennis tour plays, professional tennis. They go to Australia for the Australian Open, Melbourne. Then they go to France for the French Open, or Paris for the French Open.
And then wait, Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know where that is?
Yes.
London?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then New York for US Open.
That's so cool.
So that would be a fucking lit 2 weeks in each one.
That would be freaking dope.
I've seen the Australian Open when I was 2 years old.
Wow.
French Open when last 2 years ago. It's really special.
I remember when I was in Ireland when I was like 6. And we were watching the Nadal Federer game.
Oh shit.
Wimbledon.
2008? Because that's iconic.
Yeah.
Dude, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's considered the greatest tennis match of all time.
Straight up, yeah. We were watching it on TV in Dublin, Ireland. It was crazy.
That's so close to where it is. You should have just fucked around, dropped $3,000 on a ticket.
Bro.
Nah, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it was some crazy crap. My dad was really into it. My dad played tennis in high school.
Oh, for sure.
So he was like, we were wanting to like, it was crazy, bro. It was crazy.
Who was he rooting for? Do you remember at all?
I
don't remember.
We could ask him, but.
Oh, Federer's still going strong. Have you heard about it?
I haven't.
Dude, Federer is 38 years old, and he is number 3 in the world. My favorite player is Rafael Nadal.
Oh, really?
And he had one of the best years of his career at 33. People predicted that he was going to retire like 4 years ago because he plays a really like aggressive style, and he's one of my biggest inspirations. He got me into tennis.
Straight up?
He's a lefty. He's really humble. He's never broken a racket. which is something that almost every tennis player does. Because when you're out there,
you get pissed.
You get fucking pissed, and the only thing in your hand is a racket. You want to throw that shit.
I'm gonna go play racquetball right now.
You're gonna play racquetball?
Yeah,
at 24.
I'm gonna try to get into it. Like,
dude,
it's
tennis
fun.
It's so much fun, and it's like behind golf.
You should get a 24-hour membership, bro.
I will. I'm gonna have to convince my parents because they think it's really expensive, but it's not that expensive. Yeah, I'll pay for it myself. I'll pay for it myself.
Screw them.
I'm technically employed at Target, but I haven't worked in like a couple months because I've been studying so much.
Gotta cut them like a half deal. Pay this.
Yeah.
I'll give you $20. $20 a month.
For sure, dude.
Yeah, dude.
No, I'd love to go, dude. I'd love to get myself fit again in second semester and just go.
I agree.
Do we just end it?
Well, man, I'll end it right now with that, man. That was great stuff. Thank you for joining me.
Can't wait for the next episode, dude.
Absolutely, love it. Final words,
dude. Just go stream, fucking Denzel Curry. He needs it. Goodbye.